So it's been a week since I got back from New York, and I'm trying to think about what I want to work on this morning. New York was super successful. Off camera, we got like a lot of the answers that we wanted to get, like how we're going to grow Former, how we're going to exit if we're going to, which we're not. You know, how the sales are going to be pricing, things like this. And it was like actually pretty hard discussions that we didn't end up like, we were just kind of beating our heads against the wall, you know? But the answers weren't what we wanted, but we got answers for everything, including like things I have to do with tilt, because tilt needs some attention from me too. So today there's really two options. I can start with some of the easy things like the stem that holds the handlebars on and stuff like that. That's pretty much not copy and paste because you can't copy and paste, but like move over. Or I can get right into like the front dropout, the fork tubes, and like the new clamp shape. And I actually kind of think, even though I want to go to the easy thing, I feel like I should just dive right in. Like we have the sketch of the upper view of the clamp. We have to make a new sketch of the front view. And I feel like I can just kind of go in and just start drawing that stuff. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we will probably start drawing the front clamp, handlebars, and dropout, which sounds totally freaking overbearing, but we're gonna get to it. This is in essence what we need to make 3D. So I have like this little jaunt right here. That's the clamp sketch coming off. So now I have to add the front clamp sketch. And this is in essence like the full thing. So I actually don't really know how we're gonna do this, but I do know that we gotta do it. So perhaps it's gonna be a lot of grinding off camera. And then when I get into 3D printing, you know, that's maybe when we can like really get stuff going. I've been working on this 3 hours, probably maybe 2 hours put in because I ate and stuff. It's tough, man. This clamp is tough. I don't have much to show. We have this cable routing shape, right? Well, I need this cable routing shape to line up with this slot. So this slot has to come in and the cable routing shape has to rotate out. But as this slot rotates in, this section here thins up. And I don't want that to thin up too much because that's carrying the weight of the scooter here. And not only do you have this Pac-Man cable routing shape rotating this way and the slot rotating this way, we have to keep in mind this dropout because this dropout needs to be welded on. And if you rotate this too far, then you're starting to weld like in that groove and you don't get a good weld. So I have three things that are all dependent on each themselves. What is this saying? Like the sum is greater than the parts. If I were doing any one of these individually, it's like the easiest thing ever to draw, but because they all have to go together, man. So I probably gonna throw in the towel today without a lot of progress, which is not what I wanted to do, but like, I think that's just the way it is. So, come on. Last night I had some extra energy, so I was like, I'm gonna try this clamp again. Sunday night, because Friday was the day that I was like really struggling. And I did it. I mostly did it. So this is a little screen recording I took last night, and you can see that there's draft on it, so the sides of the clamps are angled, and it's better for material flow, so it's smoother. And it's crazy, like how the front of the clamp and the rear of the clamp are kind of like different shapes, but that's for like material flow. And you can see that when I go to this plane, you can see that the back kind of sticks up. And the front's kind of like lower, and that will help it kind of flow into the head tube, but be wide enough for like how the direct mount stem mounts on that surface, like on the top. So that was pretty sick. And then I actually ripped a 3D print. I don't think I show the 3D print, do I? Nope, I don't show the 3D print, but I set up the 3D print and we're gonna check it out quick. Dude, they're pretty cool, don't you think? I was worried about the kind of how smooth they became, because like from the front they're like a little smoother, but I think they actually look better and more professional. They look, I did cut myself. They look pretty good, don't you think, bud? So I got to do one more redraw because I realized there's one like weak point that I spotted in the mold, and then I actually want to increase the draft on these insets. Draft is the angle of release, which I probably don't need it, but for material flow and for strength, I actually want to increase the draft angle on the inside of these recesses, and then I think that will help quite a bit. So yeah, happy with them. One more redraw, then I'll send it to the factory and see if it's possible, and that will be like countless hours into designing something that I don't know if it could be made or not. All right, bud. All right, bye Odin. Bye Willow. So we have some samples in these big boxes right here. And what's in this? E-scoop motors. Oh, ignore all of that. You might have to blur that out. So we have a bunch of motors and stuff for the E-scoop, but there's a couple decks in here for tilt that I gotta check out. And then this is the stuff that we shipped from New York. So we actually have to open those cookies and try a biscuit. Okay, so I'm actually really stoked. We have motors, we have controllers, because the controllers are over here. We have LCD screen, throttle, headlight button, all that stuff. We have handlebars, like with motors. We have most of the components that we need to set up like a new print, which Sebastian was just saying. Like, so we'll redo this print when this model is like dialed. We'll redo this print to like set it up as like the final version. But that's really sick. And I was just watching some drag racing videos, dude. There are so many scooters on the drag racing track. It's insane because like people use it electric to get around the pits. Like there are so many. And that's kind of like what we wanted to do, or I wanted to do, is like get into like more like power sports vibe stuff like this. And okay, this scooter probably won't be that prevalent out there, but we have to get the scooter that uses freestyle parts, bars and stuff like that, because that would be so sick. And I really have my sights set on sponsoring, believe this, channel with scooters.
Dude, that'd be sick.
That's like the goal, because they were pushing them out of their hotel room like with like bags and stuff on them from charging them, and probably so that they didn't get stolen because of the type of vehicle they had. And we could make way sicker scooters that they could get around the pits on and like put some of their branding on it, or like a place for like their stickers and shit, and it would just be like a cool way to like do something fun with these scooters. So I got really fired up last night about that. And it's cool to see this one coming along because this is the one we have to start with. And I'm already excited about the next. I'm almost more excited about the next one. I'm not going to lie. No, but that's how I am.
Well, dude, those are going to be really... Yeah, those are like... I mean, those are really exciting. Not to say that also isn't exciting, because I feel like that is going to be super sick, you know?
It's going to be very sick. So, and we're not going to wait until I get another model out to try to accomplish this goal, because we could try to sponsor his track with track transportation. So we could like send him a few of these scooters and like have them out and about. But kind of like Tilt, like, dude, Nikita just got a 3-year visa to America, largely based on like an invitation letter that we were able to send him to be like, hey, we want him to like come here and like work on a project. So to like, that was like something cool that we were able to do with Tilt to kind of like support people. And obviously super high up racing teams and crews don't need support, but it's cool to like have like more of like a purpose in it and not just like a product.
Right.
So I'm excited to have products that we can hook people up with and like feel like we're doing something cool with them and like represent something. So yeah. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the new X like shape.
Yeah, dude, it's still like it's still the X, and it's still aggressive. So I don't think I see an issue with it being too like refined, like you said, or like smooth.
Yeah. Word. All right. On that note, Sebastian's gonna shoot details for Tilt, and I'm going to clean.
Perfect.
Let's do it. Oh wait, you need the camera.